defense, they played the Orisa with a Baptiste, and they really just stuck up in that corner and stayed on the high ground for as long as they could, playing also with a Reaper. And I do like to see interesting strategies like that come out. And I'm wondering if Titans will be doing something like that. Looks like we had one more swap. Sozin is back in and is going to be taking Valifor's place.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see what teams do with Reaper, too. Because on paper, he seems like such a strong character with that lifesteal and the damage he's able to do. But unfortunately, when you start getting to the higher divisions, or even to this division, he's a very slow character. He's very easy to hit. And if you're able to see him before he's able to close the gap, there's not a whole lot he can do. So it's interesting where Reaper's at. I think he's some changes in his kit incoming from Blizzard to make him a little more viable. But right now, unless your team really plays around and really knows what they're doing, he's not a huge pick in the current meta.
There has been a little bit of a change, which has been very welcome to Reaper players, but it isn't really enough to make Reaper meta. It just made teleport a lot more consistent and allowed Reaper to be falling through the air and still use teleport. So it's able to, like, if you get knocked off of an edge, you're able to use teleport to get back onto it. And it's pretty interesting, but isn't really a game changer. And that is definitely very handy. And like I said, Reaper mains absolutely loved it if you go onto the Reddit. And I think that's why Reaper worked pretty well in this comp that NACL did earlier this week, was since they really just stuck to the high ground right near the doorway in that hallway, they really forced the other team to come right up to them, and then the Reaper was able to just jump down on top of them. And that is where you want to be as a Reaper, is able to just jump on top of the enemy. We're going to see what these teams decide to do, and we get to see these compositions. Looks like on the defense, we get to see something we don't get to see very often. Hanzuki looks like they're going to be playing the Symmetra, which I always love to see.
I'm a huge fan of Symmetra with her current thing. Now that she only has 3 turrets, obviously it's been a while since they switched off the 6th turret. But I love seeing the Symmetra. A lot of damage incoming, especially if she can get that beam charged up. She's pretty much a moving bastion if she gets to level 3 on that beam. So we'll see if she's able to work her teleporters in, maybe charge herself on some shields, and get in close to get some damage.
And it looks like it is going to be a bunker composition coming out from Titans here, keeping that Baptiste, the Orisa, way back in the back corner of the high ground. It's going to be very difficult to knock them out of that. We're going to see how Void is able to adapt to this as they move along the backside. And as they start moving forward, they're ready to take the point. And they're going to be just moving along into the hallway to try and establish that area. Titans is reacting very quickly, and they have repositioned to the other side of the high ground, ready to pump out damage into that corridor. The Symmetra balls are able to do a lot of damage in close quarters like that. And now Void once again repositioning to now try and get onto the point. They're trying to force Titans to get off of that high ground. See Helix the Cat going way up right underneath the high ground, is using the immortality field to try and do that. And there is the first kill. Hanzuki has fallen to Abstract, but some pretty good follow-up from Hot Pockets does knock Sozin out of the neck. And this is Titan's opportunity. They have dropped down and are ready to fight. But the application matrix, the rectangle, has come through, ready for both teams now to do extra damage. It's now Titans that is on the field for play, going to be able to put out a lot of damage and healing. And now the Symmetra shield is up, going to create a little bit of an opportunity, and just before the point ticks over, are able to contest it just a little while longer. It's sitting at 97.9%. Will they be able to hold on to it? Now, there is Teddy Jackson trying to knock the enemy team off, but you can't knock an Orisa around when she uses that Fortify. There it is, knocked on the point a little bit longer, but Hanzuki is still on it, putting out a little bit of damage onto Helix the Cat. Helix the Cat does fall. It looks like Titans are just about able to take this back, and they do.
Great hold there by Titans. Great use of ultimates. I would have loved to see Quaking Punch put his ultimate a little higher up so they couldn't hide behind the corner, though they were able to get enough damage out of it, and then Hanzuki followed up with his shield right away, followed by Hot Pockets ult. Just nothing the enemy team could do. They just get shot at from every angle, it looked like. And this is one of those few maps where the defense actually seems to have the advantage in spawn time for first point. So if they were able to trade, it's actually not a bad idea for Titans for these trades.
Now one more time onto the point. You see Titans are trying to just hold on. There are the dragons coming from Void, but it doesn't seem to catch anybody, able to get out of the way. And there's how the homies Nuke. Will it catch anybody? Does catch one. Sozin is knocked out. Will they be able to follow up on that? Looks like they are. And Titans once again holds on to this point. Just Pika left, who's trying to stay alive against the D.Va. How's the homie trying to just rush in there? Does get knocked out of the mech though. Pika trying to get away. Will they be able to get away from Hanzuki's beam? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, huge plays off Hanzuki too, with all of her turrets set up in these crazy positions all over the map. It's sort of hard to find them. And this Winston diving in, using his shield, is just getting Hanzuki just charge on her gun. And once, like I said, once that gun gets charged, you're a walking bastion. So they really got to deal with Hanzuki quick, or just get out of her way.
And now Void, they want to take this last pick, and Titans, they're going to have to contest it straight away. Attack Visor from the back. Hot Pocket is trying to put out a little bit of extra damage, but does fall after a quick reaction from Sozin. And now with Abstract using the Dragon Blade, is just rushing in and causing absolute mayhem in Titans. Finally, the point is going to take over into their favor.
A big blade there by Abstract. Great use of both his abilities with the blade and the deflect to get that soldier down when he was ulting. Really stop that soldier from getting a lot of damage. Great job, Abstract, taking that point.
Abstract taking a little bit of a front hold, trying to get a little bit more ult charge, but caught a little bit by the turrets, taking a little bit of damage, does stay alive thanks to some heals. Now Titans, they're set up right on this corner, and they want to try and delay this payload as much as possible. Tribalize it down. This could be exactly what they need. Isaiah is ready to push up, but Void is reacting pretty quickly. They're falling back and making sure that they don't expose themselves too much. Pika did drop pretty low, but is able to heal back up. And Void, they're starting to want to move forward. They have all their members up, but they're pretty low. And the Symmetric Shield is going to create a pretty good front line for the side of Titans. And that amplification is pretty much going to be completely nullified since the team was able to stay through. But no, a great Fire Strike going through the amplification maker is going to take two out from it through the Symmetra shield. And Isaiah has to fall back, taking a lot of damage. Just one little tick left and does fall to Sozin. And with a quick follow-up onto Hanzuki and House of Homie, Void is gaining a lot of ground for themselves.
A great job by Pika getting these, hitting these shots. He's gonna be able to hit these shots, because otherwise, I think Titan's comp actually is really good to deal with Voids. So Pika is able to hit the shots and Voids can get ahead, but if they're able to take Pika down, it should be an easy fight for Titans with this Junkrat and this Pharah spamming in so much damage.
There is coming close to the checkpoint. Will Titans be able to contest it? No, even though they got 2 kills with the Riptire, they were not able to get on there and contest the point. So the second checkpoint is gotten, and Titans pretty much just used up 2 ultimates for not a lot. They're able to contest the point for a little bit, but they're playing pretty aggressive right now, but they had to just kind of wait for Void to respawn.
Yeah, Isaiah needed to charge there. I think he was trying to use Quaking Punch's ult to get his Fire Strike through, but at the same time, by doing so, he had to back up off the point, and I was able to get them to tick. They had that fight. It was unfortunate to see, but luckily, they're going to make it for it.
A hammer down did do a little bit, but Isaiah is taken out. Will they be able to turn this around? Doesn't look like it. There's no shield to block that Earth Shatter. Isaiah's ult, or not Isaiah's, Hanzuki's ult did come through the Rocket Barrage, trying to put out a little bit of damage, but it was not enough. And now Hot Pockets is down. House Homie right up in the front with the Zarya, trying to put out a lot of damage and try to attract some as well. Yeah, the charge through this amplification matrix coming out from Void. Make sure you don't have to take that extra damage, and it has worn off. Isaiah wants to move in, but is staying pretty cautious now and has to stay back towards the team. Since now Hanzuki is down from Pika. Now Void, they want to push in here, and there's a Graviton Surge. It catches 2 members, but the Dragons doesn't do much against the Immortality Field, and Titan is able to stay alive. The amplification matrix has come through, trying to put out some extra healing and damage, but a nuke now comes through. Isaiah is able to block it all except for Hot Pockets, who was caught by it. Now Teddy Jackson has been taken down. Titans wants to move forward here and take this point and really secure it. It has just been scrapping for the point, and just a minute is left, but there's a Graviton Surge followed up by the Rocket Barrage to clean up Void.
Great job right there by the Immortality Field by Quaking Punch. Used it to keep his team alive even during the Zarya Hanzo combo, which is such a hard thing to do without a Zen. I guess great use of Baptiste on the part of Titans. Huge hold. All they have, I think, is one more good hold right here, and they could stop Void during the.
And if they can keep that payload from taking it all the way, this gives them the opportunity to end it right on round 2. A Riptire has come through, and a follow-up hammer down is going to open it up. 3 kills. This is looking good for Titans as they push forward and start swiping through the enemy team. Immortality Field keeping them alive as they take out one last one. Sozin, it doesn't look like Void will be able to contest it. It's 5 seconds left. Titans is going to be taking the last map of the day. Overtime has been contested. Helix the Cat contesting it just a little bit longer, and now it's Pika on it. Abstract will have to be the one to contest it again. Teddy Jackson has to put the shield up, isn't able to get to it, and that amplification matrix putting out a little bit of extra damage. Very good. And now Titans has a pretty big opportunity for them to end this right here on round 2.
Yeah, great job there by Titans at the 3rd point. I think Isaiah might have heard me call him out there a little bit for losing that 2nd point because he played flawlessly after that. And they really didn't get the payload much farther. You saw they got it barely through the tunnel, which isn't a big deal for the attacking team. It happens often, at least get to that first part of the tunnel. So it shouldn't be hard to do for Titans if they're able to get the payload.
This is a very good point to be when you're attacking now. Just having to get the payload to that point, that is a pretty standard place to get it to. And if they can just keep up what they're doing and not have a repeat of Junkertown, then they should be able to do it.
So huge plays coming in there by Hot Pocket and Hanzuki also. Hanzuki sticking with the Symmetra for most of the game. It worked very well. Those turrets, she put them in some really interesting spots. You saw them was underneath the payload, which I think was really cool. It was melting that Reinhardt without anyone turning around and noticing it. So lots of interesting plays out there by Titans. I think will really help them out for the defense for that point. Because they did very.
And let's take a quick look at these compositions. Looks like Pika is going to be playing that Symmetra and Abstract playing the Widow. We do know Abstract can absolutely pop off on that Widow, so it'd be interesting to see how this comes out. It looks like no dive really on either team, as both teams are playing a more standard old school Overwatch composition, except that both teams are playing that new Baptiste.
Yeah, obviously Baptiste still kind of new. Still, his kit is still not used perfectly every time, so it's always fun to watch. There's mistakes that happen. There's also really fun things that happen, like we saw last time. Stop the Hanzo while killing anybody. But Abstract is in the back line, hopefully going to hit his shots right now to stop this push right here. But it's going to be hard with this.
Hot Pocket staying very mobile, and Hanzuki sending out those turrets actually takes out Abstract, and this opens up the point for Titans as they start pushing forward. It's now a 5v6 as Titans starts just moving forward. House of Homie is hacked, but is able to stay alive thanks to those fast heals. And looks like this is going to be a very quick point A take.
Yeah, interesting that the turrets are what took down the Widowmaker. I didn't see any other assist. It must have been a orb that hit her beforehand. So unfortunate, but great job by Hanzuki throwing out an orb, hitting it, and then also throwing out the turret to finish up the job. It's really hard to do to take out a Widow as some extra, but props.
Titans now has a lot of time, almost 5 more minutes than Void did at this point. Pika is in the back looking for an opportunity to get a little bit of ult charge, does get a hack off, but has to back off. Now there is some extra shield, and that's going to give Titans a lot of space as they push that payload forward. They had to find some way to deal with Abstract, though, who is playing that Pharah. The amplification matrix is going to be one way to deal with that, as some extra damage does come through. Teddy Jackson charging through and taking out Hanzuki does create a little bit of opportunity now, and there is the Riptire. It does take out Sozin in the back, but looks like Sozin is going to be revived right back up. Is going to be able to pump out that damage, but it has reset the charge. Won't be able to put out quite as much as before. Isaiah, trying to get that shield back up, but is not able to get it up in time. The team does fall to an Earth Shatter. Well, let's say they're able to survive through it. And that Bongo is down, was able to do a lot of extra damage, but now it's time for them to push forward. Hazuhomi is back in the mech, ready to pump out the damage. Takes out Teddy Jackson, and since Sozin is down as well, that means no tanks for Void. Hazuhomi has to be a little bit careful, falling back, getting the heals. It looks like this is going to be a second checkpoint.
Tika's got to be getting in there and start hacking this D.Va or this Orisa. Preferably, actually, the D.Va. It's super hard to do. The Orisa's doesn't do much when you hack her if they already have the shield down. But a great push here by Titans. Really strong showing. Hot Pocket doing a lot of work. And Hazuhomi has continuously this game just doing work on it.
I think Hazuhomi has been getting hacked a lot, but it seems like Void isn't able to follow up on it. And there is a nuke. Does catch two. Absolutely huge nukes this entire game, but Abstract with a bigger rocket barrage looks like he's going to be holding on to this point a little while longer as Teddy Jackson secures the last kill.
Yeah, that's a huge all out of Abstract right there. You thought that game was going to be over, obviously, with the 2 kills from the incoming, but Abstract saved it. However, there is 4.5 minutes left. They only need a little bit of time, a little bit of a push. It's looking good for Titans right now to get this victory.
And now there isn't a lot left for Void to push forward now. And with Pika down, that's a lot of DPS missing. This could be exactly what they need to take the day and take the throne of Void here of the Gold Division. This could be it. The Immortality Field, the lamp is up to try and keep everybody on Titans alive. But there's an amplification matrix returning from the other side. Will that be enough, though? Seems like the team isn't really able to take advantage of it as Titan starts creating space and moving that payload forward. That Brigitte is trying to get on there. Tribal is trying to create space using the rally, a little bit of extra health, and it seems like it's doing a good job of turning this around. Pika getting 2 kills, while the Abstract knocking Hazuhomi out of the mech to be killed by the team. Another great hold.
Another great hold. Hot Pocket does have his ult right now, though, so if you're able to get a couple kills with this ult like he did last time, it should be good. But I see once Hanzuki was out of that fight, it seemed like a lot of the DPS was gone on the side of Titans. He seems to be getting a lot of the kills, finishing these kills with good headshots. So Hanzuki needs to stay alive and get these finishes if Hot Pocket's not going to help.
Now ready to push forward. Hazuhomi getting up onto that high ground and trying to create a little bit of problems, but Abstract with a great high noon is going to be taking out 2. With Hot Pockets down, that is a lot of DPS missing. But now Abstract is down. Titans has a little bit of a better respawn timer here. A little bit of extra respawn advantage. They may just be able to push this forward, but they have to wait.
Yeah, you see Junkrat going high right now. I think he's going to use this ult. The group's up. It'd be a great time to use it at the moment. I think this could... Here we go.
It is coming through. Will it be able to connect? A nuke says it really might not matter. Catches 3, and with Hot Pockets with another one. And no, the Immortality Field keeps everybody alive through the Rip Tire. This is looking good for Titans as they start cleaning up point. It's just Tribalize left. Tribalize falls. It goes to the end, and Titans has turned this around and taken out Void and won the day.
Yeah, huge plays right there by both Junkrat and Hazuhomi again with another 3-4 kill. How much did he get with that ultimate? It's insane how many times he's getting these huge D.Va bombs. Just great job reading the plays and the situation and taking advantage.
Here we're seeing Abstract with absolutely a huge blade to manage to turn this around and give Void that little bit of extra oomph to get through and take that point. But they did take a very long time taking that first point, and that ended up costing them later. They were not able to push the payload to the end, and Titans were able to secure it out. Absolutely huge. But now, and Chad is agreeing. So many great plays coming through. And speaking of great plays, it's time to talk about our great players, namely the greatest player of this match so far, the player of the match, the MVP. Who do you think it is?
So I have to give my honorable mention goes to Abstract, doing a great job on all the DPS he was playing, both the Widow and the Genji. Really, I think beating the enemy DPS. However, unfortunately, the enemy had Hazuhomi, who is my player of the match this game. So many huge D.Va bombs, Just a great job reading the plays, reading the situations, using the defense matrix to block out the enemy damage. Really came in clutch. And as a D.Va player, you don't see a lot on the kill feed. Obviously, you did today with the huge bombs. But if you don't see a lot staying alive and keeping your enemy alive, you know you're doing a good job. And she definitely was.
Absolutely huge plays coming out from House Homie is going to have to be my MVP of today as well. I mean, obviously, a lot of teamwork coming through, especially Isaiah, who was able to do so much work to open up those D.Va bombs, but also House Homie just seemed to have a read on exactly when they needed to put out that ultimate, doing great work. And is absolutely what you want to see. Maybe how Tony has been studying up on the Poco streams, doing so many great nukes, great self-destructs. So, like I said, going to be mine as well. And so it's going to be our final send off. If you guys want to follow us on the social medias, we have pretty much all of them: Twitch, Twitter, even Facebook. And if you want to follow us, just search OCC Scrims, and you should be able to find us. Also, look below inside of the description. And speaking of looking down there, that's also where you join our Discord. We're always looking for new players, whether you're silver all the way through diamond. We have a team for you. Also, if you want to coach and try to put together a team yourself, if you're any rank above those masters, grandmaster, or even top 500, you can do that and get one of these teams up to snuff. Especially, I mean, obviously, Titans coach has been doing a great job here, able to just really get this team up to snuff. And also, if you want to join our stream team, we're always looking for new people to help with that. Whether you want to cast, whether you want to run the stream, whether you want to run the lobby, always looking for new people to help us out there. And I don't think we have anything left, do we, Cal?
No, that's going to be it. Super fun